as much as we're too tired to have sex, the releasing in sexual intercourse helps fuel us to be able to combat burnout. Sorry, ladies, it's the truth. It is the truth, and you're welcome, any guys that's watching.
Welcome to the Christyn Show. Today I brought on a special guest, and this is not her first, so we all family. Welcome home.
Thank you.
So today I want to talk about burnout and how it affects us and the people around us, like as a wife, as a mom, as a friend. And lately I've been having a lot to do, and I've just kept going, keep going. And now I'm feeling drained and empty and
burnt out.
Absolutely. The word for the day, burnt out. And I just want you to talk to us about burnout and what it looks like and how we can be better at not getting to that point, and some ideas of what could we do rather than what we've been already doing.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure to join you at your table, your couch, or wherever else you place me. But yes, burnout is real, and it is very, very common in females. We typically look at burnout from a professional burnout situation, right? But that's not it. Burnout is when you have pushed yourself to the point that you are physically, mentally, and emotionally depleted. Yeah. In layman's terms. Yeah. And it is important that we don't do so. Yeah. Because what happens is when you have pushed your mental, your physical, your emotional, it get impacted. Yeah. So you wonder why you are not clear at thought. You wonder why you can't move forward creatively. Yeah. You wonder why you have aches and pains in my back and my arm and my neck. You've pushed it too far. Yeah. And it is very common in women. Yeah. So for me, this week, this past month has been a whole lot, and not in a bad way. I feel like I didn't manage it right, or I thought I got stuff done, but when I feel like, oh, my body needs to rest, I keep going because I feel like it has to get done. If I don't do it, it won't get done. And I think a lot of us go through, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And I'm not saying if it's a friend or a husband, they won't do it, but it's like, this is something that it's our own perception of and we don't want to ask. Like, we don't want everything else that comes with asking. So I guess I need to know, like, how can I bring myself back from, like, or give me some tips on how I could do better the next time. So what you're describing is something they call a superwoman burnout. Where if I don't save the world won't get saved. Wow. And that's not true. Yeah. And if you're the only one that can do it, if I'm the only one who can do it, and we push ourselves beyond a point that it hurts us, then who gonna do it? Somebody. So when we feel that we have to keep going, if we don't do it, it won't get done. The tip is you have to remove that mindset. Yeah. First things first. Yeah. You have to remove that mindset and shift it to, if I don't take care of me, mind, body, soul, and spirit, then nothing will get done. And then you want to get to a place, once you shift your mindset on that, you have to really lean into it. Yeah. Because we can say it, but it's easier said than done. Yeah. But we don't do it. And we have to really lean in, press into, and even to the point, sometimes you got to allow yourself not to do something so that you can begin to trust the process. So I have all these things to do. I'm going to intentionally not do this one. Yeah. and watch the world crash.
Yeah.
And then you're going to realize, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
Or you're going to learn, oh my God, it was horrible, and I need to redo some systems.
Yeah.
I need to redo some organization.
Yeah.
I need to begin to do a better calendar.
Okay.
So you can learn from it, but you got to sometimes allow it to even happen.
Yeah.
And lean into taking your hands off.
We just talked about early before we got on, like just the guilt of it. And how do you get out of the guilt when it comes to the babies and, you know, our husbands or, you know, people that are really close to us that we really want to do the best for them. And we want to do this, but we're so tired. We're so overwhelmed. There's so much. Yeah. We're burnt out.
You're burnt out.
How, you know, what do we do with it? Like, how do I get away from the guilt and not feel that way?
I think that you have to take it situation by situation, right? So there are some seasons where our husbands need us. Yeah. And we have to show up and become, you know, what they need in that season. There's some times where our children need us more than a husband may need us. We pivot there. There's some times where the business and the ministry or whatever it is an event. It is something that you have to be able to pivot. Now, what happens when all of them need you at the same time? Then we need to sit down and strategize, not just do. We have to literally sit down, pen and paper, keyboard, laptop, and we have to strategize, how can I get it all done? And then have me on the calendar. So I am going to help this business in this capacity. I am going to have date night. I am going to do these for my children. But this 1 hour right here, I'm taking a nap. Okay, this half a day right here, I am going to the massage parlor. So it has to be a concrete plan that you're included in. So,
So I guess
I was going to say, and the guilt will always be there. I love when I hear that from seasoned marriages, seasoned parents, grandparents, people on their way. It doesn't leave. So to think that if I do all this, I won't have the guilt. It's going to always be there. So if I know you're going to be there nagging in my ear anyway, let me just take it. Let me just take it. Let me make me a part of the schedule. You know, let me ignore it and move you out the way and say it is okay. It is okay and sometimes we think it's either or. I either have to do everything or do nothing. No, put you in the calendar. That's it. We just remove the exercise from the calendar, the rest from the calendar, the pouring back into self from the calendar while we're doing everything else for everybody else. And then we get burned out.
So I thought this was a good topic to bring on because lately I have been feeling burnt out. I have been feeling like everything's a lot. I want to make sure I could be the best at my podcast and I want to make sure
that check.
Well, not the best, but be able to get on and do it. Like some days I feel like I don't want to do it today because I'm so tired because not only the podcast, but the kids and my business and want to be able to be there. And I think we talked about this also beforehand, being there emotionally and sexually and attentive to our husbands. But I'm so drained and so burnt out that, wow, like the conversation, we do have the conversation of, I'm so tired. And he sees me and, you know, I'm sure their husbands see him and their friends see him working like crazy, but at the same time, you can't keep putting excuses why you can't be there emotionally.
Absolutely.
Because we all need it. We all, as much as I'm not being there for my husband maybe for in that space for this moment or this week or whatever it was just like, I need it too. Like we think it's just one-sided and it's like, dang, if I'm not emotionally being able to talk to him and do all these things, then it's all the stress that I've been holding on, I can't even give it to him. I can't release it. So that's why I thought it was very important to let people know that this is something that's going on, and I want to know, like, how could we, you know, build ourselves up and know that, I guess the guilt, I've learned how to be like, I feel guilty, but I'm tired. And that's why I'm like, I know I'm burnt out, well, I don't care. When I don't care that you mad, I'm done. When I don't care that you mad, that I'm about to fall asleep in the middle of the day, and I know I got stuff to do. I knew it. I start seeing signs. So can you tell us some signs of?
And that sounds like compassion fatigue. When you don't care, your compassion has left the building. Compassion fatigue. When you have given emotionally, physically, financially to so many different people and you don't care, you have tipped on over to compassion fatigue. I don't care. I have little to no empathy, sympathy, compassion. That's your problem, not mine.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not a good space to be in.
Right.
It's not a good space to be in, but we enter into it. Yeah. And what I would say is rewind. You said something, and when I talk about the all or nothing strategy, it is sometimes we have to do things tired. Yeah. You know, it is, yes, we want to give the best level of podcast performance, but if I'm giving 80%, not 100%, that was the best you could give in that moment. Yeah. And it didn't have to be a no-go, but and that's check off the list. Yeah. And I'm going to say it. I mean, I've heard many of men say it. I don't need 100. I need you. Right. They would take 10%. You want to give 100, and they like it's been 2 months. Can you just give me 2%? Yeah. So it's not an all or nothing philosophy. And women, once again, we want to be the best at everything that we do, whether it's, you know, intimate with our husbands, our jobs, and sometimes wanting to be the best at something and you're not able to give your best will leave you to not doing it. So where does that leave your marriage? Yeah. Where does that leave your business? Where does that leave your endeavors? If you only going to do it when you can give your best. Yeah. So we have to remove that mindset of needing to give 100% in every area of our life. Yeah. Sometimes, and when you're an overachiever, like most women are, your 100 is really 1,000. So even if you hit 30, 40, 50, your kids ain't noticed. They didn't get, 100% mom. Your husband didn't notice. Now there are times where they do notice. Yeah. And that's just to remind you, get your rest. Yeah. Pour into your cup so that it is full and it can run over. So when we say we don't have time to take a nap, we don't have time to pour into ourselves, we don't have time to journal, we don't have time to exercise, and then we give 0% to everything we do, that isn't good as well. So it is very, 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 very important to have an understanding that every day, every hour, every situation, every relationship will not get 100% all the time. Yeah. But it is important that we give ourselves what we need to try to be at 100 for us.
Okay. So I guess that leads us into, do you have techniques to help us combat burnout?
Absolutely. Recommended techniques to combat burnout is change your mind. Okay. Change your mind on how you view doing life. Change your mind on trying to be perfect. Yeah. Change your mind on trying to be all things to all people and nothing to you.
Wow. And I'm going to let you finish all of them, but that used to be really hard because I felt like when I was doing for people, I was doing for me too. But sometimes it is like the gift of giving and doing those things is something I enjoy. But past that, it was like I wanted to make sure. Oh, you need this? I got it. You need that? I got it. You need it? I got it. Is this too much? No. But it was becoming, and at the time you don't see it happening. But then when you're tired, when it's too much, and it's like you gave everything out, but you don't refill. And that's important. And we get scriptures and slogans and we hold on to certain ones. It's better to give than receive. Okay, but love your neighbor like you love yourself. Yeah. Not better than you love yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we have to,
And it is a beautiful thing to give to people and to be there for people. That is what we are created to do. But love your neighbor as you love yourself, not better than you love yourself. Yeah. So it is not spiritual to give everything to everyone, but you give nothing to you, or you give crumbs to you. And then, truth be told, the very best you think you're giving, we really aren't. Yeah. Because you giving what you got, and if I'm down to 0, you getting the best 0 out there.
You're getting the best nothing ever.
The best nothing ever. I'm glad y'all enjoy this nothing. Because it's killing me.
Right.
You know, so.
But that's good.
It is. We have to deprogram ourselves. We have to deprogram ourselves is definitely a strategy and a tip. Yeah. And then after we start working on that mind, we have to then build in some activities. Okay. We have to, when we're doing our calendars, we have to make sure, and a lot of people do color-coded things. What's your color? Why your color not on here? Yeah. You know, to be able to see yourself in the plans to prevent the burnout. Journaling is good. You said something earlier about I don't get to release for me. And a lot of times that is where the stress and the anguish come from, because you're not releasing. So journaling is a release. Exercise is definitely a release. Sleep. Getting good sleep. I was reading an article and it said plenty of sleep. Yeah. So that's we think, I got some sleep.
Some rest.
Get plenty. Get plenty of sleep, because it is working through you in a physical manner that prevents the burnout from coming. Sex. Yeah. As much as we're too tired to have sex, the releasing in sexual intercourse helps fuel us to be able to combat burnout. Yeah. Sorry, ladies. It's the truth. It is the truth, and you're welcome, any guys that's watching. But that's what it is. Yeah. Take breaks. Take breaks. Sometimes when you say you go, when did you break? Did you eat breakfast? No. Did you eat lunch? Did you get a snack? Did you eat dinner? Yeah. Did you have a healthy dessert? Did you watch one of your favorite talk shows? Did you watch one of those good old podcasts like the Christyn show? Right. Did you take a break? Take a break. Yeah. Go walking. Yeah. Like, stop, go, and take a break from the monotony of life. Yeah. That's how burnout comes. That's a part of the definition. Doing the same thing over and over and over. What are the same things we do over and over? Wife, mother, our jobs, ministry, whatever it is, you are prone to become burnt out. Yeah. So because we are doing them every day. Yeah. So we have to make sure that we are releasing some of the tension that comes as it relates to burnout. Meditation. Time with God is so critical to counteract burnout. Give your cares. My Christian faith, I have to take my cares to the Lord. And that is me releasing my stuff, my tiredness, my weariness, my concerns, my anguish, my busyness on his feet. And in turn, as I release, I'm asking him to pour something back into me. Pour some strength. Yeah. Pour some joy, some strategy, because sometimes when you're burnt out, you can't even think of what to do next. Yeah. Or we're thinking, I'm going to do this and do that and run here and run there. And he's like, no, come to me. Right. So I can show you, you're going to delegate this to this person. No, you're going to ask for help in this area. Yeah. No, you're going to have the kids help with them. You're not going to do it all by yourself. Right. No, he'll give you strategy on ways that it's not as tiresome. Yeah.
I remember maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, we were texting, and you said, Jess, I'm about to go into devotion. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go into devotion, when I get back. And I heard God say, no, now. And I said, I have so much to do. And then I just kept getting convicted, like, make me that number one thing. And I went in there, and all I could do is hear myself crying out. Like, I just started crying out to God. And then I remember Patrick walking upstairs because I could hear him. And then when I came back downstairs, he was like, you good? But it was like, I needed to release all that and talk to my father and ask him what's next and not get caught up in everything in the world that was going on. And I felt so much peace. I felt, and lately, like, my back been hurting, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so built. And at first I was like, I'm dehydrated. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm hydrated now. What's going on? But it's just like, that's how I knew that something else was going on, that I was just, it was a lot. And when I did that, it was like, ooh, watching that happen. Yeah. And just giving it over to him was just,
it's critical. Meditation, time away to get back centered. Yeah. It is definitely a tip to combat burnout. So yeah, you release, you get poured back into, and then you're able to pour back out. Yeah. Exercise, sleep, journaling, meditation, time with God, boundaries. Yeah. Healthy boundaries are important to combat burnout. We have to make sure that we know how we want to move in our life, and that the people around us know as well, so that we are not being pushed over our limits and then wondering why we feel sick and my back hurt and my neck hurt and I can't sleep, and because you've been pushed beyond your limit, and you didn't, because your boundaries, your all of your fences are down. They kicked them down. They broke in like January 6th and just stormed all up into your life.
They broke it.
Yeah. Right. And you're like, no, you got to have boundaries, healthy boundaries. Yeah. Now, not no walls because you're a giver. And there are gifts that people are given. And being a giver is a gift that God gave you. So this is going to be something you battle with forever. Yeah. Because that is your gift and you do it well. Yeah. But there still have to be boundaries within that. Yeah. And you have to put yourself around people who respect those boundaries. Yeah. So if they know that you have a lot going on this month, then I'm not going to pull on you this month. I'm going to pour into you this month.
That's good.
It's important that around your fence are people who respect the boundaries and respect you, to help not push you into burnout.
That's good. Even for me with other people, like just making sure I'm paying attention when they're busy in their gifts or whatever they're going through, that we're not still pouring out of people, keep pulling, and this is the season that they need to be poured into.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So those are some strategies. Of course, there are some people who are on the total other extreme of it, where you may need counseling. Yeah. You may need people to talk to, and relationship is critical. Yeah. And as a strategy also, because releasing to your good girlfriends, releasing to your partner, your spouse, releasing to, a therapist. Yeah. And allowing them to pour back into you to give you strategy, wisdom, direction is also a good thing.
I was just talking to Patrick about when you're so burnt out and you talk like I think when I told him, I think when I'm burnt out, I need to just vent to him because I feel like he knows my heart. Like, I'm not mad at this situation. And I'm trying not to cry because this is how you know I'm tired.
No.
But
authentic, that's what you are.
But I'm really tired.
But my husband said he got a tissue just in case. And we said we don't need no tissue.
We don't. I'm trying to hold it in. Anyway, but because I want to make sure that I'm still being kind, that I'm grateful, that that I could do stuff for people. But when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm tired, it's a lot. And it don't have nothing to do with the person. Right. It don't have nothing to do with the situation or the events. It's just, it could be an event. It could be, I got the kids. Kids have a lot. My kids have a lot going on in their life.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the school year. Big birthdays are here. So I just was telling him that, you know, just because I don't ever want to feel like I'm a mean person or complaining or not grateful or hurtful. I just was like, maybe it's best because I don't know. Now I have, you know my heart, you know, my friends know my heart. I could go to them and say, but I know that I need to go and say, I'm not mad at this. I'm just like, listen, I need to get this off my chest.
Right.
Like you said, I need to just get it all out. I need to release it. So I'm like, I need to make sure when I'm talking to people that I'm upfront, like, I need to release today. This is nothing personal. It's nothing against. And I think that's something that people should do. Like, I'm not trying to, I just want to vent to you because I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I could come to you and that, you know, with that kind of stuff.
And that's why prevention is better than what are some interventions for burnout. Yeah. Because when we do not take care of ourselves, then we will look up and we are snapping at the kids and we're being rude and mean to people and you know, and it's like, you know,
and I'm only laughing because of the snapping at the kids, but I have to check I'm looking like I'm not upset at them. And I have to say, come on, give me get a hug. And
yeah, so it's important and we don't see it as something we have to do because it's go. Yeah. But if it makes us become people that we don't want to be. Yeah. And we have to make sure that we are doing all of the preventative, all of the things to combat it for prevention. So I'm going to exercise, I'm going to journal, I'm going to spend time with God, I'm going to put me on the calendar, I'm going to create all these healthy boundaries so that I don't become a person that I don't want to be.
Do all those happen at one time? Because now I'm going to walk away and say, I'm going to go do all those things, right? And I'm sure they're going to be like, I'm going to do all these things. What you say, we're going to do journal, we're going to exercise. But then life comes in. And it doesn't mean that, I know. It doesn't mean that.
We got to change this.
Oh, you said that.
We have to change this. We have to change this and say, I can. Yeah. And once again, I didn't say you got to journal for an hour. Journal for 5 minutes. I ain't say you got to exercise for 2 hours. That's exercise for 15 minutes.
But you just talked about how we take it way further
too far. We created.
Because in my mind, I said I need an hour to 2 hour exercise. I need to sit there and journal for 30 minutes. And my mind, I already took it way past what you just said.
I want to spend like 8 hours in God's presence. If you can, bless you. But most of it is not realistic. Yeah. It's not, but you incorporate it into the schedule. Yeah. So, you know, I try to spend 30 minutes once I get one child off in between getting the next child out. So with God. And then I have a gratitude journal book that asks me questions that I just fill in. I'm done in 5 minutes. Okay. You know, I don't get to release and talk to my girlfriends all the time or my sisters, you know, my mom or dad, but I try to at least talk to 2 to 3 people for at least 5 minutes per day that I'm connecting to. You know, I sometimes can't get to the gym. God knows I can't get to the gym the way I want to. Right. But I count ripping and running a little bit. I'm like, what are these steps? Like, you make it work within the life that you already have. Or while I'm dropping you off at football practice or soccer practice, instead of sitting in my car cackling, I'm going to cackle while I walk around this field. That's good. So you have to...
I wasted a whole baseball season.
Yes. But these are things we learn. These are things we learn. Let's be clear, I just got convicted. Because I'm going to drop and pick up her. I dropped Zion off yesterday, and I seen all the women with their... I said, ouch. But guess what? I'll be there tomorrow, and I'm going to be walking you know, not with them, but with my own AirPods and my own. I was like, I forgot I used to do this. So that's what it's about, just bringing things back to remembrance, and then just doing it. reset.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that with burnout, it is about resetting, retooling, and starting all over.
Yeah. So she gave us all the tips that we need to do, all of the strategies, all the techniques that we can take and go out and just be our better selves and just working on us. I think that's important. Like, we don't have to be perfect, but we need to be progressing and working on who we're called to be.
We can't be perfect.
Oh, it's no perfection. Perfection is not real. So let's put that out. It's not. So I'm excited to go work on these things. I hope y'all work on it and share this. Share this with some friend that you feel like is burnt out, that's just overworked, someone that's just not taking the time out to take care of themselves. Yeah. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you got anything from it, please share it with someone you think it will bless. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the Christyn Show right here on YouTube. You can download the audio-only version by subscribing to the show on most major podcast platforms. Also, make sure you check out our links in the comments below for more ways to engage with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Christyn Show.